In this video, I'm gonna give you an introduction to classes and how we can use classes in TypeScript. Class was introduced in ES 2015 and it was introduced in JavaScript, and the same way we can also use it in TypeScript as well. So class keyword is used to create one class. So let me create one class of, let's say the name of the class is student, and class is actually a skeleton, and we can create different objects based on what is defined in the class. We can create fields in a class. These are public writable properties. For example, let's say for student I am creating one field name, it's of type string, and another field age, and it's of type number. Okay, so I can create one object of the class. Okay, let me create one object. So for creating one object, we have to use the new keyword, and I need to write the name of the class with this curly braces. So it will create one object as that is of type student class. So I can access these properties, these name properties. I can give one value for this name, and similarly I can access the age properties. I can give one value for the age. Now if I print this value as .name, then you can see that it's printing that value. Similarly, I can create another object. Let's say it is S1, and for S1 I can provide different names and different age. Okay, for the name, let's say it is Bob, and S1.age, let's say it is 20. I'm printing the name of S. Similarly, I can print the name of S1. Now you'll see that it's printing Alex and Bob. These properties, these fields, we can have an initial value. For, let's say for name, I am giving an initial value that NA, and for age I'm giving an initial value -1. And also we don't have to define the type. The TypeScript will automatically define it as string. Now if I try to give something else here, then it will show me an error because it's of type string. It automatically detects that the type is string and the age is of number. Now if I don't assign this value, then you can see that it's printing the default value. And if I assign that value with something, then you can see that it's printing that value. Each classes can have an constructor. For, let me send it to number, and constructor is the method that is called once we are initializing the class. So we can pass some variables as well in the constructor. So here, suppose I'm passing the name and I'm passing the number. Okay, and to access any of these variables, we have to use this dot name. That means that it is accessing this name variable. And suppose I'm assigning this value that we are getting from this name, and I'm assigning it to name. And similarly, let's use this dot age equal to a. So what we are getting here, we are assigning to age, and what we are getting here, we are assigning to the name. And now you can see that it's showing me one error because this is the constructor, and constructor is the default method or the start method that is called when we are initializing one class object. So here we have to pass the two values, that is the name and the age. We can also access this fields, but we don't have to because we are now assigning this in the constructor. Similarly, for the second one also we have to assign this in the constructor, and you can see that it's printing the values of name and age that we are assigning here. We can also create methods in a class. So let me create one method getAge, and suppose this method will return the age. So we can return the age from here, and if I call this method from getAge, then it will print the age. So here you can see that it's printing 20, and so you can see that we are accessing this to access any of these class elements. So suppose let me create one other variable, age equal to 100. Okay, and if I remove this from here, then you can see that it's printing 100. It's not accessing the this field that is defined inside this class. So if you want to access any fields or any other methods, then you have to call this. Let me create one more method here, print it. Okay, so let's say it will get one number, that is value, and it's of type number, and it is not returning anything. And print, let's say it's print data, and let me change it to string. Okay, and inside this I'm gonna add one console log, and here I'm just printing this message that is passed to this print data. So let me call this print data from one object, print data, and here let me pass hello world. Okay, now you can see that it's printing the hello world. So you can use methods, we can define the return type, you can use as arrow arrow functions, and you can also define the parameter types. So this is the way you can define a class, and you can define methods and fields in TypeScript. Thanks.